Shalom, called Halal Allah Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua, which means all praises to Yahweh, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father, who you people in the world regularly call God, Ba'Hashem, in the name of Yahushua, which is the name of the only begotten Son, who you people in the world regularly call JC. Once again, the true names of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son is Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua. Shalom also to you Akim, you brothers that's pushing and spreading this word throughout the four corners of the earth, who's also uplifting the names Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua. Shalom to you Akim. Shalom also to the Israelite foreigners, the speckled bird, man, woman, and child, whose bloodline traces back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our forefathers. Though you may look like the heathen nations, you're scattered amongst which the heathen nations, as you see on this chart of the nations, starting from 2 on down. Once again, those are the heathen nations. Also, if your bloodline, your lineage goes back to these people, Salakia, to these people, as you see on this chart through the man, and if his spirit bear witness with his word, the truth, and you can receive it to the speckled bird, man, woman, and child. This does apply to you. You are Israelites, though you do look like the heathen nations you're scattered amongst due to the scattering of these people on this chart. So you will have Israelites come looking like the other nations, but they're indeed Israelites because they're under the curses of Deuteronomy 28, the 15th verse, all the way to 68 verse. Their spirit bear witness with his word that they are the sons and daughters of Yahweh Hashem Shah, and most importantly, their line, their lineage goes back to these people through the man, no matter what they come looking like. If their father's an Israelite, that makes them an Israelite as well. Also, to the few aqua, few Israelite sisters that do listen, learn, believe, and have respect towards your husband, Shalom. Alright. To the elect of Israel, Shalom. To you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Once again, you combine, consist, and make up the 12 tribes of Israel. You are the Hebrew Israelites, the chosen people of the Most High Yahweh and His only begotten Son, who the world locally calls JC, Yahweh Shah. And we're going to play this clip right here. Alright, and we're going to show you just how through our America, alright, Babylon the Great, modern Babylon the Great, mystery Babylon the Great, how much this place is finished, man. Alright, this place ain't got it no more. So we're going to play a little bit of this clip, and we're going to jump to another video, which the other video will do even more, it have more of a, how do I put this? You know, it will show you just how much more through this place is, alright? So we're going to play this. Of course, it's commercial. And this ain't going to be long. If it does get long, this is where the spirit takes you. So we're going to play it.
The academic programs with the Christian worldview. In 2020, campus students received over $157 million in scholarships. See what you qualify for. Find your purpose at gcu.edu/myoffer.
From childhood, man is attracted by moving objects that are automatically controlled. He is inherently lazy, but he is also mechanically minded. That's why he is always inventing things to do his work and ease his own burden. The roller was one of the first of such devices, as these paintings of the early Egyptians show. Here they are moving a great weight with the aid of a roller track. From the roller was developed the first wheel. This has been adapted and developed at all levels of human effort, from the very simplest, like this water lifting device, where man has obviously overcome the hard work, till today the wheel is the basis of most mechanical movement. The next step was to make the article work by itself. An early example is this clock, which by rolling a ball on a plate can run for years on one winding. Through the centuries, this principle of automatic motion has been expanded till today, big industries have productions almost entirely dependent on semi-automatic machines. Let's visit one of the British Motor Corporation's huge machine...
Hold up. Slovakia. It was actually this one. Slovakia. That one was R2.
In the factories, locally built, giving local employment in every great area of the nation. Each factory, with its system of communications and intercommunications, is in itself a part and portion of other factories, which begin where it ends or end where it starts, to fabricate or fashion or finish the fine products of the thousands of suppliers and the thousands of suppliers who supply those suppliers with all the parts of all the components that help to make up the complete automobile. Today's product of the superbly equipped plants is the life story of 10,000 engineers, with hundreds of supporting departments and thousands of supporting suppliers, completed by the master hands of 1 million factory men who inscribe all their ideas in metal. The careful and meticulous attention to every detail of quality and perfection has resulted in constantly improved performance, efficiency, and stamina through the years. That is the story told in the rhythm of the wondrously precise machines as they dance to the mastery of the worker's hands.
Alright, so what do you notice in this video? Alright, dealing with America, you had factory jobs, you had manufacturing jobs. America was manufacturing. Alright, this was still, the whole, World War II boom. How you had all them soldiers get off from the World War, and what they do? They hop. The man, he went, he got himself a little factory job, and that one factory job, which didn't require, a college degree, it didn't require a lot. All you do had to apply, and that one factory job was able to supply his whole household. His wife didn't even have to work at this time. This was really before feminism, came into play. But what did you notice though? America was a manufacturing hub. Alright. Now this is cars. You still have factories in America, but you don't really have factories or manufacturing companies like you used to back in the 50s and before, man. And even the 60s and the 70s, man. Because the 60s and the 70s was actually, I just play a clip. I got that as well. I'm not gonna play all of it.
America roared into the 1970s with the promise of technological progress and social change, but it would prove to be a bumpy flight for the American automobile industry. And for Chrysler, the 70s would begin with high expectations, but end in near disaster.
Big, luxurious, beautiful.
Unfortunately, we had the experience in the 1970s of picking exactly the wrong year, in retrospect, to introduce our new large cars. We had a new line of very attractive large cars in 1974 that debuted the same year as the oil embargo, and then we had another line of new cars in 1979 that debuted during another gas crunch.
The Middle East oil embargo instantly changed the dynamics of the American car market. Long fuel lines and higher gas prices pushed consumers to smaller, more fuel-efficient cars. But few expected that Japanese manufacturers, long derided for poor manufacturing quality, would soon become a major force in the American automobile market.
But what happened in the late 60s is that the quality of all the Japanese models improved greatly, and they began putting larger engines in them and really began to design the cars with the American market in mind.
As the federal government began demanding greater fuel economy and lower emissions in Detroit's new products, Chrysler struggled for a new identity in an ever-changing market. Unlike General Motors and Ford, Chrysler didn't have the cash reserves to pay for massive shifts in production strategies. With increased government regulation and foreign competition, the smallest of the big three automakers couldn't keep up with the pace of change.
We could feel it when it was happening back then
And there wasn't anybody that did anything wrong politically. There wasn't anybody that did anything wrong in the best interest of the country. But you almost took away something that was the livelihood of thousands and thousands of people in this country. What a shame that would have been.
As the corporation continued to fall behind, the possibility of bankruptcy became more and more real. The problems at Chrysler became symbolic of perceived American failure throughout the nation, and the entire nation was talking about Chrysler Corporation.
Good evening. The Carter administration has agreed to help the Chrysler Corporation, the country.
And this was in the 70s. And what did it say? It said a bailout. And what do you see right now? The same thing. All right. The bailouts with these mega corporations. All right. It's the same thing. But I got one more video, but we're going to get a scripture. This is Ezekiel 17:1. It says, "In the word of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah came unto me, saying, Son of man, put forth a riddle and speak a parable unto the house of Israel. And say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, a great eagle with great wings, long wing, full of feathers, which had divers colors, came unto Lebanon and took the highest branch of the cedar." Now, if you go in the curses of Deuteronomy, all right, well, actually, I don't even have to go in the curses. Let me see if Obadiah, what it will say. All right, take this right here, right? This I started Obadiah 1:1. The vision of Obadiah, thus said the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom, the so-called white man. All right, we have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah, an ambassador sent among the heathen. Arise, ye, let us rise up against her in battle. And this is speaking of World War III, which we're coming into. But even these other nations are battling America economically, and they're kicking America's ass. All right, and they've been kicking America's ass, especially when it comes to Ammon and Moab. All right, Ammon and Moab, they got the best cars, man. Toyota, Acura, you got Honda, Nissan, they're better than these American cars with GM. You got Chrysler, you got Ford, all right, Chevy. Says, Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, Who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, right? And though I set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down, said the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah. And when they who was it? Neil Armstrong, I believe. When they said he went to the moon, I believe that was 68, 69. All right. When Esau did that, all right, what? That was the beginning of his downfall when he went to the moon, man. And this is when you started seeing, his manufacturing hubs. They all started to lose profits, and eventually went bankrupt. And eventually they were what? Shipped overseas to China and everything. And that's what we're gonna get into. But let's go back. Ezekiel 17, it says, I'll pick up where I left off. It says, He cropped off the top of his young twigs and carried it into a land of traffic. He set it in the city of merchants. And if you go to traffic, right, you look up that word traffic. All right, so it says, what does traffic mean? It says the act of recruiting, transporting, transferring, harboring, or receiving a person by means of deception, abuse, or vulnerability, right? But actually, just keep that in mind. Transporting, all right? Okay? And trafficking be all mean. You got human trafficking, you got sex trafficking, you got drug trafficking. You also got what? Goods trafficking, all right? Product, all right? In America, okay, was well known for that. All right, manufacturing and sending and shipping goods to different countries. All right. He also took of the seed of the land and planted in a fruitful field, and he placed it by the great waters instead of his willow tree. And it grew and became a spreading vine of low stature, whose branches turned toward him, and the roots thereof were under him. So it became a vine, and it brought forth branches and short figs, short and shot forth sprigs. There was also another great eagle with great wings and many feathers, and behold, this vine did bend her roots and toward him and shot forth her branches toward him, that he might water it by the furrows of her plantation. It was planted in a goodly soil by great waters, that it might bring forth branches, and that it might bear fruit, that it might be a goodly vine. It says, say thou, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, shall it prosper? Shall he not pull up the roots thereof, and cut off the fruit thereof, that it wither? It shall wither, and all the leaves of her spring, even without great power or many people to pluck it by the roots thereof, man. Alright? Let me see. Alright. So like I'm just seeing something. So let's go back. It says, yeah, behold, being planted, shall it prosper? Shall it not wither, utterly wither? When the east wind toucheth it, it shall wither in the furrows where it grew. Alright, you got the countries of the east. Alright, they, like I said, economically, even militarily, they're destroying this place, man. Alright, they what? They've made the Lord has made and debased America, made it despised amongst the nations, man. America went from a manufacturing hub to what? A consuming nation. All everybody can do is buy. With money they don't have. You see what I'm saying? More depth. Alright? And that's gonna bring us to that next video. Alright. Which I watch this dude a lot. He's real, good with what's going on with the economy. He's real honest. Alright, so I'm gonna go back to the first.
Hey, U.S. homeowners. If you owe less than $356,362 on your home, you need to be holding hard tangible assets.
Alright, so he gonna show you, okay? Cause you know what happened just recently. We everybody received $1,400 stimulus checks, which I received it, but I put it, to use. I just saved it, used it for particular bills, and that's what it was. A lot of people, you notice, all right, the traffic on the roads, on the streets have picked completely up. I was driving from the gig yesterday, and it took forever for me to get home. And usually these past months, especially when this pandemic started and when the lockdowns had took place, I could usually drive from my gig. I could be hitting 50, 60 miles per hour straight. Wouldn't have to have to stop at a few lights. Wouldn't have to stop behind a car that much. It was just straightforward. I got back to the crib in no time. But now they got these $1,400 stimulus checks, which I believe is what, $300 bonus with it. All right, for particular people. Now everybody's back on the road, because what are they doing? They're spending all that stimulus money. You got people throwing that stimulus money in the stock market, knowing the stock market is manipulated. It's gonna crash eventually. And you got people doing what? Buying flash screens. You seen the other thing with Bull Boom Bear Bust. I believe that was his channel name. People are buying. Took all that money and went straight to Foot Locker and Champs, Finish Line, and bought a bunch of damn sneakers, man. Which I like sneakers, but if you have money and that's the only money you got, and you have, you're so far in debt, I would save it. But you got people that's just blowing it because they think that this system is going to continue to give them free money, not knowing that these Edomites in power, the elites, they're getting you people so conditioned to receiving our money from the government, basically relying on the government, man. All right. So when this RFID chip, the mark of the beast, is rolled out, you'll just instantly take it. All right. And once again, like it says, surely a person maketh a wise man mad, and the gift destroyeth the heart, man. All right. So I'm about to show you. All right. Now that these stimulus checks that went out, all these people out buying. All right. What's happening with America? All right. So we're gonna play this clip. See, it was once prosperous, but now it's what? It's falling. We're gonna get into that.
So it's an absolutely beautiful day here in Huntington Beach. Down here with a buddy taking care of some business. And as we were
down here driving down PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, Huntington Beach, California. Looked out to the ocean, and I wanted to show everybody this because I want to show you where all the stimulus money is going, and I want to show you the wealth that China is creating while we lose jobs, while we lose purchasing power.
Which you just lost this coming week, or past week, whatever you want to put it as. We lost 684,000 jobs. All right, and they're trying to make it as if that's a good thing. It's at least it's not 700. It's not 800, 900 this time. Well, that's like right. You got a hand, right? You lose one hand. You lose. Let's say you lose 4 fingers on one hand, right? They report that. So you got your other hand. You only lose one. So what they're saying is, well, that's good. At least he didn't lose the other 4. Well, you still lost one finger on the other hand. All right? You still lost one finger. And that's how they're trying to make it. You see? They're trying to make it seem good news that more than 500,000 people lost their jobs. All right? They're just trying to make it seem as, at least it's not, well, you still lost jobs. It's still above 500,000. All right? And this has been going on since the start of the pandemic. All right? Since the very beginning, people been getting laid off. And I remember, because I was furloughed, as soon as this thing started. I got furloughed with a few other of my co-workers. And when I checked the numbers of people that was filed for unemployment benefits, it was above 1 million the first time, literally above 1 million. And I remember when I applied on the website, the site, it actually crashed. I got on there and it was still operating, but then it got so bad that the site crashed, and they had to change the whole site. They didn't even have enough people, all right, to handle that. So you want to just play this clip.
While a majority of all that stimulus money continues to flow over into other countries like China. Now, I don't know how well this is going to show up, but there are cargo ships all the way down the coast here from Newport Beach, Huntington Beach, lined up to get to Long Beach, loaded with cargo. Those stimulus checks being spent at the Walmarts, the Kohl's, the Rosses.
And what do all those places sell? Goods that's made in China. All right? Nothing is manufactured in America anymore. Everything is imported from some foreign country, especially the countries out in the East. All right?
Best Buys, you name it. And I wish I had a zoom lens. I'm just using a small camera today, so please bear with me. Hopefully you can see all of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. You get the point. There's hundreds of cargo ships out there, and you know where they're all from. And you know what we're sending back? We're sending back empty ships and bring back more goods so that Americans can spend their stimulus checks, making China wealthier and wealthier. Their middle class continues to grow, ladies and gentlemen. Ours is disappearing. And this is why they're making things they manufacture. They're exporting products all over the world. And guess who's buying most of it? You guessed it. America.
Yep. All right. It's over, man. You see all them ships out there, man? All right. That was once America. That was once Americans sending ships, all right, to these other countries. Now all these other countries are sending their ships, their goods to America. And you are losing, okay, your whole standard of living. You Americans, are you modern day Babylonians? Are you so used to living this first world, all right, first class type of living, all right? You don't have to worry about how, you don't have to make your own food like these other countries. You don't have to, break your back like these other people in these foreign countries had to do. Well, that's over with, man. All right, the stimulus checks is just the last, the last hurrah. All right, before they just let this thing go, and yeah. All right, the rest is history. But we gonna get another scripture, man. This place finished, man. All right. This is Jeremiah. You still got people talking about college. Where you gonna go to college for? Ain't no jobs, man. All right, and like I said, it was the factory jobs now, and now all these little mom and pop shops that we once had, that this country once had, is gone, man. And the ones that's still around and kicking, all right, they living on edge, man. All right, they on the plank, man, getting ready to fall off into the water, man. All right, they hanging on by a thread, and eventually they're gonna the elites, they're gonna get rid of those because they just want a few, all right, corporations up and standing so they could easily when they push this chip out and start putting this chip in all you people, they could easily track you people and where you shop at. See, with the mom and pop shops, it was competition, and also there's so many of them. All right, you had many options. You had, when it comes to shopping, you had all these different options you can go to. You didn't have to go to Costco's and Amazon. You didn't have to go to McDonald's. You see, but they're trying to cut it down to those few well-known corporations. It will be easier to track you. But at the end of the day, this place is over. It's done. This is Jeremiah 51 verse 7 says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh Shemashah's hand, man. And when was it a golden cup? All right. Starting when they brought us over here on slave ships, we built, all right, this society up, these different cities. All right. Then you had, the Civil War. After the Civil War, you had coming into the industrial age, but you had what? World War One and World War Two. And that was the beginning when America really established its power, was during World War One and World War Two. All right, as a superpower. All right, then you go after World War Two, you what? You had what I played in the first video. You had the manufacturing, the factories, all right? All these factories where man, he was able to just to go out to these factories and work. All right, his wife could stay at home with the kids, He had enough money to pay everything off. He wasn't living paycheck to paycheck. All right, but what happened? That started going down. Now what was you left with? You was left with the mom and pop shops, McDonald's, Subway. All right, then you come down to 2008. That happened. The Great Recession. That happened, and that was the put a basically a further dent in its financial system. And now we're in that last leg of this economic system, dealing with America, man. All right, this is where we at with it. So them golden days of America is over, man. You see how have the golden cities ceased, man. All right, let's get that first. I'll get that first. All right, this is Isaiah 144. It says, thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. It's Joe Biden right now, Sleepy Joe, but above him you got the elites. All right, these are the kings of modern Babylon. All right, Mystery Babylon the Great, and say, how have the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? Because what was America able to do and still able to do on some sort? All right, sanction people. All right, all these nations have to go, in order to do trade, or at once in order to do trade, they had to use the American dollar, man, the petrodollar, man. Especially when it came to oil and particular things, they were forced to use it. All right, and what happened if you didn't want to use it? America would take you to war. They would demonize you, go to war with you. All right, and they'll get rid of you, and they'll set up a puppet government that will fall in line with their agenda. All right, and that's what it was, man. So America has been the oppressing a nation on the planet Earth, man. But you are Babylonians here. You can't see that because you're living deliciously. You're getting a piece of the pie. You're getting the crumbs of what the elites are really getting. All right. But now it's ceasing. Okay. Because the Lord Yahweh Shemashai had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. And if you had a scepter, that was a mark of authority. It goes into that. All right. It says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth, and nobody's feeling sorry. These nations are actually having the ball, all right, with America falling economically. It's just falling all over the place, man. Morally, All right, people are through here. People are obese. People are druggies. You know, people are a part of the alphabet community, LGBT. You know, you got all that transformers in the military. All right, nobody's taking this place serious, man. All right, they're laughing at this and they're profiting off, just like America profit off their destruction. Like I said, all that energy America put into destroying nations and destroying people, all that energy is gonna come back on you. And that's what's starting to happen. You're reaping what you've sowed. Now they're profiting off your downfall, man. Now that's actually a curse. Actually, that happened to the nation of Israel. Now it's falling upon enemies. What did it say in Jeremiah? Uh, 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 not Jeremiah, but Deuteronomy 30:7. For I will pour all these curses upon thy enemies that had hated thee, man. All right, and that's what's happening. The curses are falling upon our enemies, and this is one of the mega ones. Deuteronomy 28:15. This is the curses that befell the nation of Israel, you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. All right, and one of them was what? If I could find it, so bear with me. All right. All right, so I'm gonna get all right Deuteronomy 28 43. This was one of the curses that fell on our nation. It says the stranger which these other nations that is within thee shall get above thee very high. And what did Esau say? I will be though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, which the eagle is what? The highest flying bird. All right, amongst the bird family. You see? It says, and thou shalt come down very low. And this is what you see. You see Jake in the ghettos, and you see Esau, even the other nations. They're what? Prospering. They got their own businesses. All right. Moab got what? Chinatown. All right. Every time Ishmael comes over, Ishmael got their own little communities. They got their own little businesses. All right. Where they're funneling money from you Jakes and putting it back in their communities. All right. While you don't have anything. That's a curse that befell us. But it says, and thou shalt come down very low, and he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him, and he shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. And that's what it was with us. All right. Seemed like Jake will set up a business. What happened? The business will shut down. All right. Go bankrupt fast. All right. And what you have to rely on. That's the curse I was actually looking for. How you have to go to the heathen for one of all things. Your enemies for one of all things. Let's look that up. All right. So basically now America, these Edomites, because this is their little this is their really their country. All right, America's not our country. America's not our homeland. We're just captives, prisoners of war in America. All right. So now it's the curses. This is the curses falling on them. All right. Yep. This is Deuteronomy 28:47. It says, because thou servest not the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah, thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee. And that yoke of iron, if you look it up, that's us going into what? Slavery. All right? Just look up yoke of iron. Who's going to pop up? A so-called Negro chained up. What? Because he was a slave, man. All right? But now this is happening to our enemies. It's befalling upon our enemies. And Esau, Edom is the main one that's befalling him. He went from, all right, being the one lending to people, all right, being the one everybody went to get particular things. Now, look, he has to rely on his enemies, China, all right, sometimes Russia, if not the at the point, all right, and other countries that hate this country, all right, for one of all things. In order for his store shelves to be stocked up, what does he have to do? He has to rely on, all right, these other countries, man, especially China, man, because they don't like China, especially now that China is coming and the power is getting above them very high. All right, with China, you Moabites, you're not going to come into power either. You're going into slavery too, all right, but just showing you on this point, all right, it's now happening to him. He has to go to his enemies for one of all things, man. This place is through. So, going back. So you might see these Edomites walking and laughing that don't know what the hell going on. These Joe Six Packs, they don't know what's going on. They're losing power. All right. This is Jeremiah 51. Pick up where I left off. It says Babylon had been the golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. Of what? Everybody wanted to come to America. All right. They thought the streets was paved with gold. At one point, that was a sin. All right. You could get rich, prosper. You know, be all you can be. Now that people come to America, now they find out, like, man, this shit ain't nothing, man. All right. The women ain't right in this country. You know, children out of order. You got gun violence, mass shootings. Okay. Hate is at an all-time high on this side. You know, people been found out that that wine, that Babylon juice, the philosophies of this place is all a damn joke. It was a lie, man. All right, stock market's a damn lie. Everything's a lie. Everything is just so fake. Nothing is what it seems, especially in America, man. All right, it says the nations that drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And the nations are mad, man. That's why they're making what? Connections and trade deals amongst each other. They're not dealing with America anymore. That's why Joe Biden, when he came into office, what did he try to do? He tried to get back in the Iranian nuclear deal. I believe that's what it was with Iran. And what Iran tell him? Hell no, we not getting no deal with y'all. Y'all had y'all chance. You see, we know what y'all about. All right. You see them trying to somewhat befriend China, but China is like, the hell with y'all. We all the way up, man. You see, we went from 0 to 100 real quick. You see, we don't need you. We don't need your deals. We don't need your service. We the ones that's doing the service. You see, this is where we at now. The nations are mad, so they're doing everything to what? Further destroy this place. All right. Babylon is suddenly falling and destroyed. How for? Take bomb for? Which bomb is a healing agent. All right, a medicine. And what are they trying to use as bomb? Manipulating the markets. All right, manipulating the housing market. You know, stimulus checks, which is what? It's further destroying your dollar. Your dollar's gonna become worthless. And you wait, all right, till the dollar, I actually have a video for that. All right, when the dollar becomes completely worthless, man. These nations are definitely not gonna do business with you. See, the dollar is still number one, but it's like you have a hospital, you got a bunch of sick patients. It's just the least sick patient of all the sick patients, because all these nations, their dollar, all right, is weak. All right, they have debt. All these nations, including America at the forefront of it, are in debt, man. All right, that's why you've been seeing Russia and even I believe China and other nations. What have they been doing? They've been putting their money in gold, which that's a threat. All right, to the U.S. currency, to fiat currency, because fiat currency is not real money. It's just paper. All right, that's all it is. You see. So the dollar is being destroyed in the process. Them trying to keep this afloat, trying to keep these people from losing their damn minds. Basically trying to stop Mad Max from coming, which Mad Max is gonna happen, regardless. For her, if so, she may be healed. We will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us go everyone into his own country, and that's what they're doing. For her judgment reaches on the heaven, is lifted up into the sky, and this place is falling because the wickedness that's been taking place. All right. This place has gotten extremely wicked, so the Lord's bringing this place down, like He said, man. All right, and there's nothing that can be done about it. There's nothing to reverse. All right, what's happening? All right, it's just gonna continue to get worse and worse and worse, man. All right, and real quick, let's get Revelations 18. All right, dealing with these cargo ships. Okay, and actually, I got one more clip. All right, so this happened yesterday. All right, this happened just yesterday. I was chilling out, and it was just popping up all over the YouTube and probably the news. They're probably gonna try to hide it in the news, but we're just gonna let him explain it. You have a ship, a cargo ship that's blocking traffic, and that's not a coincidence. That word traffic, man. All right, so we're gonna just let the dude explain what's going on. All right.
About 7:40 in the morning, as she was heading northbound, she had a Suez Canal pilot on board, vessel master up on the bridge. The vessel lost power, went dark, according to the ship's agent. Losing power meant losing propulsion and also meant losing their steering. Suez Canal sees 10% of the world's trade go through it. Every day, 50 vessels on average go through that canal. So the closing of the canal means no vessels are transiting north and south. It is a one-lane canal where the vessel is aground at. So right now, vessels are piling up in Port Suez in the southern end and Port Said in the northern end. And every day the canal is closed, number one, it means that Egypt isn't getting toll money for this. It's about $700,000 for every vessel to go through. But more importantly, container ships, tankers are not delivering food, fuel, manufactured goods to Europe, and goods are not being exported from Europe to the Far East.
Do you hear that? Food, all right, other goods, because this one ship is stranded and is blocking, all right, this important, what gateway basically, all right, for trafficking and transporting goods from point A to point B, all right, it's causing, they said, billions, 10 billions in dollars, all right, and your resources that you need every day is not coming in, all right, so we just want to keep going.
And this is going to have a massive impact on production, on availability of goods in Europe and in Asia. She's longer than the canal is wide. And so she's jammed in there pretty good. And so it's going to be very difficult to pull her off. And they have to be very careful pulling her off because, again, they've got all that weight in the center of the vessel, and she's not buoyant right now because she's hung up on the edge. So she has a sagging motion to her right now. So they got to be very careful about cracking the vessel and conceivably a catastrophic loss of the vessel, which is a worst case scenario. I don't envision that happening, but they have to be very careful on this because they don't want to cause a situation that's worse than exists right now. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the result is, what causes this accident. Was it a mechanical failure? Was it operator error? Is it because of maintenance that wasn't done on the vessel? Or was it, crew fatigue? And so there's going to be a lot of questions about this. And again, we're seeing the number of accidents increase over the span of this past year. Fortunately, none of them have been catastrophic yet in terms of lives lost. But what we are seeing is loss of cargo and impact in the economies.
All right, so now some people saying that this was done on purpose. Now, if it was done on purpose, it still was done by Yahweh by Shemel Shah. Whether he put it on the spirit of the elites to tell somebody to do this, it's still sanctioned by Yahweh by Shemel Shah. But this happening, all right, this happening, okay, what is it gonna do? You already have a food shortage. I showed you the video with the mouse plague in Australia. You have all the farmers that's suffering, all right, and suffering losses and crops, and everything, livestock. All right, so if you already have a food shortage now, what you think this finna do? It's gonna add salt to the injury, man, to the wound, man. All right, gas is gonna go up. They said your specific goods you buy in these stores. All you people that's spending these $1,400 stimulus checks in these stores. All right, it's a shortage on that product you buying, man. It's gonna get worse, man. All right, so you already had the dollar becoming worthless, and now you have this even more shortages, man. This one the biggest of all. All right, and all right, so there it is, man. This place finished. All right, so let's get this. Revelations 18:1. And that's going to not just affect really America, because America's going to, like I say, America don't manufacture shit, man. All right, you have to rely on these other countries to get particular things, and they rely on that little passageway to get what they got to get to send to you. All right, and if they not getting that, then what you feel the thing happen to America, man? All right, we'll see where this thing goes. But this is Revelations 18:1. It says, and after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and of a cage, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird, man. All right? And this is going, especially when America is hit with missiles, that's what it's going to become. But you kind of see this now, man. A foul spirit, all right? Perverse spirits everywhere, all right? For all nations have drunk of the wine of her wrath, of her fornication, the kings of the earth who have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And how did America get rich? Slavery. All right. So these other nations, they was eating too. But it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, You Israelites, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, those are our people that look like the other nations, but you're Israelite. All right. The Lord is telling you to spiritually depart from this place. To spiritually put all your trust in Yahweh Shema Shah, man, because this place is finished, man. If you want to put all your trust, your spirit in this place, you won't go down with this place, man. This place finished. All right. What more is it to hold on to in America, man? It's nothing, man. Everybody's broke. Everybody's in debt. Everybody's a damn demon. All right. Nothing is what it is anymore. The fashion of this world has passed away, man. All right. It says that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached on to heaven, and Yahweh have remembered her iniquities. And the main iniquity, what do they tell you, all right, about slavery? They say America's great sin is what? Slavery. You see? And they try to act like they feel sorry for that. They don't feel sorry for that. But guess what? The Yahweh, he's upset about that. He's finna do something about it. He's doing something about it now. That's why you're seeing all these things happen at once. It says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. And the cup which she had filled to her double. How much have she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her. But she said in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. And that's the mindset of you Americans, man. You think just because it's America, you can't ever see a World War III or foreign troops actually gonna come here and basically do, take over this. You can't see America going through a Mad Max scenario because you've been living first class all your life. You can't see, all right, all types of destruction happen to America, man. Just things you see in the movies. You don't ever think that's gonna happen to America. You just think it's just all a movie. It's all in the movies, man. No, it's gonna happen. All right, because great pride has overtaken this place, man. And pride is what? The beginning of sin. Pride is the beginning of one departed from his maker, man. And that's what you people have done. You people have chosen gifts over the Most High Yahweh, man. All right, to the point where you'll scoff at the facts of Yahweh. You hate, all right, what Yahweh is coming to do, coming to destroy this place. You're against that. If you're in love with this place. But it says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, man. All right. This is going to lead to even more shortages, okay? Not just with America. America's going to be mostly impacted, being a consuming nation, but it's going to be all these countries. All right. Like I said, we're going to see how this play out, man. Everything is in the power of Yahweh by Shemel Shah. All right. This is the Lord's movie. He's putting the chips together, man. He's putting everything in place, to get one. He'll put one thing in place to have another thing happen. All right. But it says, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh Shemashah who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication live deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoking of her burning, stand afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And that's when the missiles. All right. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of the pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour, wheat, beasts, sheep, horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. All right? And this place is known for that, having all these things, all these delicacies. But it's going to be stripped of all that, man. And that's the main thing these elites have is the souls, the minds of your people, man. All right? They're going to lose all that. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. And all things which are dainty and goodly are departed from thee. And thou shalt find them no more at all. All right? The merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar for the fear of her torments, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships And sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this? Alright. It says, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For 1 hour she made desolate, man. This is what we leading up to, man. Alright. But the chips is being put in place, alright, for the downfall of this place, man. Alright, you see it, man. Alright, people are lying on stimulus checks. That's one. The ships, this thing going on with the ships, China just being, becoming the number one manufacturing hub. All these things lead to the desolation of this place. Alright. So I read this last bit. It says, rejoice over her, thou heaven. What heaven? Us, man. The kingdom of heaven. Alright? The Israelites. We and ye holy apostles and prophets. For Yahweh have avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, cast into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. Alright? And that's how this place gonna go down. This place was what? What does it say? Woe to the bloody city. Alright? This place was established off violence, man. Esau, alright, he used violence to get where he's at, man. To set his nest up on high, like it says in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. So what's this place gonna go down? By violence, man. Alright, on all levels, man. Egyptian versus Egyptian, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Alright. You seeing that now. See, everybody for themselves now. Especially when it comes to America. Everybody will team up when it comes to America. But it says, in the voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers and the trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in these. And what do you notice now? They're so-called reopening things up because they trying to get you people thinking, all right, that nothing's going wrong, everything's just fine. This is just a speed bump in the road. No, this place going down, man. All right. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy mercies were the great men of thy earth. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived, and in her was found the blood of prophets and of the saints, the Israelites, and of all that was slain upon the earth, man. Alright? So, this is over. Alright? It's over. Alright? I actually get that. Okay? Let's get that. Woe to the bloody city. Hold up. Slack it. Alright, I'll get this. This is Ezekiel 24 and 1. It says, again in the 9th year, in the 10th month, in the 10th day of the month, the word of the Lord Yahweh Shemashah came on to me, saying, son of man, write thee the name of the day, even of the same day the king of Babylon set himself against Jerusalem this same day. The people. Alright? And utter a parable unto the rebellious house, and say unto them, thus said the Lord Yahweh, set on a pot, set it on, and also pour water into it, and gather the pieces thereof into it, even every good piece, the thigh, the shoulder, fill it with the choice bones. Take the choice of the flock, and burn also the bones under it, and make it boil well, and let them see the bones of it therein. Wherefore thus said the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shah, woe to the bloody city, to the pot whose scum is therein, and whose scum is not going out of it. Alright? What does it say? The prey depart not. Who's the prey? Our nation. We're the prey. Let no lot fall upon it. You saw what it said. It says systematically, systematic choices, man. Alright? You won't be calling anything because you're going to be overthrown. For her blood is in the midst of her. She set it upon the top of a rock. She poured it not upon the ground to cover it with dust, that it might cause fury to come up to take vengeance. I have set her blood upon the top of the rock, that it should not be covered. Therefore thus said the Lord Yahweh by Shema Shah, woe to the bloody city. I will even make the powerful fire great, man. Alright? So that's it. Alright. So I'm in here, call her Lord like Yahweh by Shema Shah. Yahweh righteous eyes was edifying, Baba Gashah, Abba Babo, Abba Babo, Abba Ha Ayapia, Abba Ha Ayapia. Shalom to the elect, to the few, Akwaf, Shalom, Hawad, Hayah, La Yahweh by Shema Shah, Show Hashemayim Wa Arataza, and which is of the heavens and of the earth, and Shalom.